Giants fans, Giants fans, Giants fans. And hold on, let me get that echo out of there. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have just let that sound like it was, it was meant to be. Because it sounded a little bit tight from the beginning. That was actually kind of a cool intro. I should have just been quiet and cut it off without anybody knowing, because it was kind of a dope intro. But oh well. Anyway, the New York Giants lost, ladies and gentlemen, 17-13 to the Chicago Bears in what turned out to be a pretty good game. I didn't think it was going to be a good game. It turned out to be a pretty good game. But look, the bigger news has nothing to do with whether or not the Giants won or lost this game. The bigger news is Saquon Barkley and his possible injuries, ladies and gentlemen. Not injuries, injury. That's the bigger news. I don't know, Isaiah. Look, we watched the play where Barkley went down. We're gonna take a look at the play. But then about an hour later, after he went down, sometime in the third quarter, maybe the end of the third quarter, Adam Schefter, and Adam Schefter, he's got the sources. Adam Schefter tweets, Giants fear that running back Saquon Barkley suffered a torn ACL today. Sources tell me and Jordan Rannon. One source said the torn ACL was certainly within the realm, but there will be more tests Monday to make a full and complete determination. But the team, the New York Giants, fear that Saquon Barkley may have torn his ACL, and that is a blow for the New York Giants. That is a huge blow for the New York Giants. Listen, we didn't expect a whole lot from the season anyway, but whatever we were doing, we wanted to see the development of Saquon Barkley. But I'm starting to get a little bit scared, a little bit afraid that his career is going to be riddled with injuries. Scares me, Isaiah. It scares me.
Sim, I mean, to put this in words, man, you're talking about doomsday scenario for the Giants season. I mean, you can't. This is almost as bad as if Daniel Jones got it. But to have Saquon Barkley, your second-round pick, go down with injuries, and this is his second time having probably going to be a major injury, and this is going to be his first complete, missing the season injury. I'm not gonna lie to you. So when I got that report, I'm like, I'm not gonna cuss, but I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Sim, the NFL, man, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna take a lot of heat. The NFL is gonna take a lot of heat, and there's gonna be a lot of grievances with a lot of these players, because again, man, you were talking before the show, to tell players that pretty much that without supervision since the Super Bowl, so it's been about almost 8 months. You have these players come, and you're telling them there's no OTAs, there's no, mini camp. The jump from camp to an NFL game, it's ridiculous.
It's crucial.
And to not have preseason games, at least two preseason games, just to get everybody jitters and the hits and to get the feel of the game back, to go from camp to an NFL game. You're seeing the results right now, man. And then, oh man, Barkley, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know we're gonna talk about it a little bit more, but it's looking more and more likely like Gettleman's gonna be fired from the New York Giants.
Well, I mean,
the reason why I say it is because you take a running back number 2 overall in the NFL draft. And don't get me wrong, he had an incredible rookie season, but other than that, it's been decent.
But you know what? If he didn't suffer these injuries, right? Then everyone would, you wouldn't be saying this right now if he didn't suffer these injuries. And I know what people are saying. People are saying, well, that's the reason why you don't take a running back so high and those type of things. But we also got to, because if he is fired and then you get two years down the line and all of a sudden the Giants are good with his players, then everyone's going to look back and say, well, Gettleman put this team together. Gettleman put these guys together, right? I mean, I think you gotta. Well, it's a young team. The injuries to Saquon Barkley, I don't know. I don't know if I want to jump there yet, but it's frightening that it's going to be. There's going to be, what his career is, or that it could be what his career is, and then he's young. So hopefully he can come back from an ACL, but, running back puts a lot of pressure on their knees, man. You got a torn ACL, and a torn ACL today is different than it was back in the day, but a running back puts a lot of pressure on their knees, a lot of pressure on their ligaments, because they're constantly moving this way and that way and cutting and dipping and sliding. They put a lot of pressure on their knees and their ligaments within their knees. And it's scary. I don't know, man. It's scary. And we were just talking last week that if he continues to jump over guys the way he was jumping over guys, and this play, he didn't jump over guys. As a matter of fact, we got the play right here. He didn't jump. It was a regular play, but he automatically grabs his knee. Take a look at it. You can see it. And, the thing is, Barkley was getting some room this week against this Bears defense. He was getting some room. And you see he goes down, starts beating the ground, and, you're already scared. At this point, my heart was in my throat.
Same.
As I'm watching him turn around and spin around on the ground. And now we look at the replay. You don't really see where it happens, but you normally don't. All we know is that he grabbed his knee. And maybe one or two plays before this, he went down and he grabbed his left arm. His left arm was hurting. Scary. He's such a powerful and strong player. The guy was on his way to having, or the thought is that he's gonna have this great career, and now this.
Yeah, it sucks because it's
it sucks because I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? I don't even know what to say. It's just, it's tough, man. It's tough. And he was starting to get some room. Last week, he couldn't get any room. Last week, the Steelers defense had him, they suffocated him. This week against the Bears, he started to get some room. Right? He started to move just a little bit. When he went out, he was 4 attempts, 4 rushes, 28 yards. And it was like, okay, maybe we're gonna, we were down 10-0, but still, maybe this offensive line is gonna get in a little bit, create a couple of holes for Barkley to run through, and maybe we'll get a big play or two. Yeah, and he goes down. Then he goes down, man. It's I can't wait till tomorrow to find out what's up with Barkley. If it's a torn ACL.
Myself for the worst, man.
I don't blame you. What else can we do but brace ourselves for the worst? But I don't know. Now it's tough. It's tough to see Barkley go down that way. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, and I'm pretty sure you heard the news, but one more time, just in case you haven't, the Giants fear that Saquon Barkley suffered a torn ACL today. Sources tell Adam Schefter and Jordan Rannon. One source said the torn ACL was certainly within the realm, but there will be more tests Monday to make a full and complete determination. And you can look at the injury right here, ladies and gentlemen, as Barkley finds a hole, cuts through the hole, and as he comes down, Giants Nation gasped because they seen him grab his knee, start banging on the floor or on the ground, and you knew something was up. You were hoping that it was, maybe he twisted this or twisted that, but he was in a lot of pain. And you see, as soon as he hits the ground, he's going to grab his knee, and you know what it is. Let's hope the best for Saquon Barkley, ladies and gentlemen. We'll hope the best for him. And, whatever it is, we're going to have to move on from there. But I got my man Uncle Freezy in the house. Uncle Freezy is a Chicago Bears fan. So he came in to gloat. You know what I'm saying? He came in to gloat over the Chicago Bears pulling out what ended up being a tight game. I know after the Bears being up 17-0 at halftime, I'm sure you didn't expect that it was going to come down to the last play of the game.
No, nobody expected that. Nobody expected that. The Giants fan base probably hoped that would maybe happen, that they would have a chance towards the end of the game. But the way the Giants' offensive line looked early on, nobody expected that, and nobody expected Saquon Barkley to leave the game with an injury. It's one of those deals. The Bears are fortunate to have pulled out this win. If the Giants had a little bit more continuity, they probably would have beat the Bears by maybe 10 to 14 points, because the Bears' offense looked terrible at times, and Mitch Trubisky looked terrible at times. But as a Bears fan, I'm glad to get this win. I'm hoping Saquon Barkley does not have a torn ACL. I'm hoping it's just some type of sprain where he can be back, because you hate to see generational talent like that get, career-altering injuries, and it robs us of what would potentially be a great career.
Right. Yeah. That's what makes it tough, man. Mike Morgan asked, is he done for the season? We don't know. We won't find out until Monday, till tomorrow. We'll find out a little bit more tomorrow.
But you know what, though, Big Freezy, man? This is what I was telling Sim. This is why I think the players are I think something's going to happen. I really do. I think in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see the players' union and a lot of players speak out against the NFL, because I don't know if y'all even remember during the season that the NFL was rushing to get the season started. They were actually telling players that they had a deadline to decide if they were going to opt in or opt out for the season. And a lot of players were pissed off about that, because they felt like they were being rushed, or sometimes they would even feel like being forced to play, without even having a right decision. So again, man, it's just unfortunate, because I really think, I'm not even going to say I think, I know if there was a preseason, if there was, OTAs and mini camps and, preseason, that a lot of these injuries would be prevented.
Right.
There would, of course, there's always going to be injuries, but again, man, you're asking these guys that went from, a lot of them stopped playing football in December, stopped playing, real football in December, January. And it's almost been 9 months since a lot of these players have played real football. And you're asking them to go from just jumping from playing in shorts to playing in full contact pads with grown men.
Right.
It's just really unfortunate. And then, today's game, give all credit to the Bears. They did what they had to do. The first quarter was truly a disaster. Daniel Jones was fumbling, interceptions. O-line couldn't stop nobody. But thank God the Bears are still the Bears. And Mike Trubisky is still
offensively, the Bears are still the Bears. The defense is decent, though.
Yeah, they definitely are. So it's just like, again, man, it's like.
And I want to say this, though, just looking at the game itself, obviously the NFL is going to have to take a look at all the injuries that happened today. And just look at the season. I doubt that they're going to stop the season. They've started, and I don't think they're going to stop the season. As a matter of fact, if you look back at history at the beginning of the season, a lot of teams suffer injuries ever since they've cut down the number of preseason games that you play. A lot of guys suffer injuries. You know what I mean? In the beginning of the season, I don't think that they're going to stop the season. There's too much money on the line, too much TV money on the line. So I don't think that they're going to stop the season because of injuries. That's just my opinion on the matter. But when I look at the Giants, obviously in the first half, it was a terrible first half, 17-0. In the second half, the offensive line started to get a little bit more confident against the Bears. Listen, the Bears got a crazy defense. The Giants' offensive line started to get a little bit more confident. You're seeing them protecting Daniel Jones a little bit more now. Daniel Jones was also getting the ball out faster. Right. He was getting the ball out faster because you had to. Right? They had to get the ball out faster because they knew that defense was coming. All right. And then obviously without Saquon Barkley, they had to go to the air a little bit more. Right? They had to go to the air just a little bit more. So, I think, and obviously now they've got to move forward with Deion Lewis and not Saquon Barkley, but I think that offensive line gained some confidence today. Because, you went up against two good defenses in 2 weeks. Right? You got smacked by the Steelers for the most part. And then it didn't get easier going against the Bears, but you did a good job in that second half. The Giants did a good job in the second half, and I think maybe that offensive line developed a little bit of cohesion. It's just too bad that Saquon Barkley wasn't there to reap the benefits. Like I said, he was four rushes for 28 yards, 7 yards a carry in the first half before he went out. You know what I'm saying? You go into that second half, he might have busted one or two loose.
Right.
Who knows how that makes the game different. And I also would like to, Daniel Jones, I thought he did a good job on that last drive. Right? Yeah. In that fourth quarter, that last drive, he got 2 minutes left on the clock, and he marches up the field and gets us within 4 seconds. What are we, 20 yards away with 4 seconds left on the clock? Yeah. And I'm saying we, speaking as a Giants fan. I know you're a Bears fan, but I'm saying we, speaking as a Giants fan. So I like what I seen from Daniel Jones in that fourth quarter, that 2-minute drill. We marched up the field, had a chance with 4 seconds left to plug it in for a touchdown. Without Sterling Shepard. Let's not forget that Sterling Shepard went out today as well. Right. You know what I'm saying? I have to look and see what the report is with Sterling Shepard, but Sterling Shepard went out today as well. Yeah, go ahead, Fritz.
So I think you're right on the Daniel Jones aspect where he grew today, definitely. You saw him grow as a player today. I think the most underrated aspect of today's game is how the back end of the Giants defense stepped their game up. So receivers that were open in the first half were not open in the second half. And plays where we could get easy third down conversions were contested in the second half. Now, right. I know saying a player just played harder would be the simple way of putting things. I think what it is these players basically gained experience, and whoever the defensive coordinator is for the Giants mixed up his game plan so that it would be so that whoever it is that was usually vulnerable was not vulnerable in the second half. So it's one of those deals where you hold an NFL team scoreless in the second half where they have to try a 50-yard field goal. You know what I'm saying? Just to get points on the board. Right. I mean, just you have to give credit to the opposing defense for that. Yeah. Because we marched up and down the field in the first half. It looked like we were going to beat y'all like 38 to maybe 10 or something. In the second half, the defense stepped up, whether it's scheme or play call or whatever it is. They basically confused the Bears offense. So, and I'll be honest with you, if this game had been maybe in Giant Stadium or wherever they play at, this may have been a different game. You may have, if the Giants, this young team, had played at home as opposed to on the road, and I know the crowd is not a factor, but you're still in a different city now. So, but the outcome may have been different. If the Giants had more time, the outcome may have been different. So, I mean, of course, I came in the gloat because my team beat your team. That's just what it is. But at the same time. But at the same time, as people that follow sports, you have to give credit where it's due, and you have to analyze, impartially. And so I think the Giants really, really did step up. Unfortunately, though, their second best or their best offensive weapon is maybe out for a while, and being 0-2, with 3 tough games coming up.
Yep.
Maybe too much for the young team to overcome.
It's tough. It's tough. Definitely the Giants lost their first offensive option in that first half. Lost their second offensive, I guess maybe a second offensive option in Sterling Shepard. We needed Ingram to step up. Ingram stepped up. He had 8 targets, 6 receptions, 65 yards. Looking at the final stats of the game, ladies and gentlemen, and how it looked for the New York Giants and the Chicago Bears. Again, Saquon Barkley, 4 attempts, 28 yards. Deion Lewis stepped in. He had 10 attempts for 20 yards. Obviously, he's not Saquon Barkley. Sterling Shepard, 1 attempt for 6 yards. He went out early in the game. Still not exactly sure what the injury was. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and look that up. Daniel Jones, he had 241 yards. He was 25 for 40 for 241 yards. He had 1 interception. He also had 1 fumble. So far, 2 games, 3 interceptions, man. Golden Tate got some looks today. 5 receptions, 47 yards. Ingram, 6 receptions, 65 yards. Listen, the ball was spread around, definitely spread around offensively for the Giants. And I like that. I like that the ball spread around. Now, they almost didn't have a choice because Sterling Shepard went out and Saquon Barkley went out. So they spread the ball around. But I like it when an offense, when the defense has to worry about everybody and not just 1 or 2 players. You know what I'm saying? I like that.
I think that's one of the things that hindered them in week 1 against Pittsburgh. And I said it, and I don't think, and I may have not expressed it fully, but I think the outcome of the Steelers game would have been, I'm not saying the Giants would have won, but definitely would have been a more competitive game if you have, everybody on the field being a threat.
Right.
Evan Ingram catching the football in the middle against the Steelers would have made the game more competitive. Having Golden Tate, infused in the game plan, a veteran receiver. Every team needs to have like a veteran that you can go to when you have to convert, or something like that. I think the Giants are the offensive line. I thought it was going to be. I thought we were just going to wash through the offensive line like a wave. We did have 4 sacks against the offensive line. The guards got beat bad on several plays, but the young tackle, though, looks like he's a grown man. Whoever the dude 78, is that your first round pick?
That's Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, that's Andrew Thomas.
So he got beat. He got beat a couple of times just by skill of our defensive ends, but he didn't get like manhandled. If he got manhandled 1 play, he didn't get manhandled 2 or 3 plays in a row. Right. So I think that dude is going to be eventually going to be a great player. The right tackle, at times you're like, man, what do you even? I mean, anyway. So not to overanalyze, I think the Giants, our young offensive line, definitely has some potential. They definitely have to shore up though people shooting through gaps. I mean, that's crazy. You can't even get plays off.
Yeah, and to go back to what Isaiah was talking about, you're looking at what would be your second preseason game.
Right.
Out of what, 4 preseason games normally, right?
Right.
You're looking at what
normally
4, right? You're looking at what would be your second preseason game, and then your third preseason game is usually that dress rehearsal. Okay, where you're looking to see, you've worked some things out in those first 2 preseason games, and now you're looking to see, okay, this is what we want to put on the field. You play one more preseason game, and kind of see maybe who you want to keep on the team, this, that, and the other thing, and then you got a week to prepare for the regular season. Right.
So Sim, think about that. Right, that's 5 weeks. Just think about that. That's 5 weeks of what you would call a normal regular season that didn't happen.
Right.
So it's just.
I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I don't think that the NFL is going to cancel the games. I think they're going to continue to play. Too much money involved, too much TV money involved. Right now, no one can go to the game. So guess what they're doing? They're going to watch it on television. What are the ratings? I don't know what the ratings are. But since no one can come to the games, people are going to watch it on TV. That means there's advertising money for the TV stations and for the NFL. I don't believe that they're going to take it off, that they're going to cancel the season because of injuries. We'll see what happens. I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to happen, though. But looking at the final, just a couple of final statistics. One area that the Giants are going to have to get better in are the third down efficiency, man. 3 for 13, 23% third down efficiency. You look at the Bears are 9 for 16 for 56%. Now the Giants had, on fourth downs, the Giants were 3 for 3. The Bears were 1 for 1. All right, but those third down efficiencies, man, we got to keep the chains moving. We got to keep it moving up the field. 3 for 13, 23%. That's not going to get it done. It almost got it done today because of the Bears began to play a little bit inefficient in the second half. But that's the signs of those are signs of a young team and
well, and these teams that mirror images, I don't think people understand that. Like the Giants have a young second-year quarterback. The Bears have a young quarterback that's struggling too. The Bears have offensive line issues they're trying to figure out, and the Giants have offensive line issues that they're trying to figure out. The Bears are trying to establish their running game. The Giants are trying to establish their running. So the teams are very, very similar. What I think Giants fans may need to take away from this season, because I don't know if they're a playoff contender. I'm not gonna even bring that up. But what the Giants should hang their hat on is they have the quarterback of the future, right? No doubt, because this kid was savvy and made some plays today that that give you hope that he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? The tackle that they have is probably going to be a great offensive lineman in line with what the Giants usually have used to have at left tackle. Like if you look at your Jumbo Elliott's and all those type guys that used to be
Jumbo Elliott
that used to play they used to play for the Giants and such. I think where they need to improve though is I think the Giants definitely have to improve. They definitely have to get some playmakers on offense in the passing game. Now, I mean, having all B plus students at wide receiver is a nice to have, but in order for you to help your young quarterback, you have to have an A plus guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I know people say you can get receivers from anywhere. You just kind of, man, I honestly feel like it's not fair to your quarterback to expect him to be pitch perfect, absolutely perfect on every offensive play. At some point, you have to have receivers to help your quarterback out.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm with you. And I was hoping that Evan Ingram was going to be that guy. that he was going to end up
Right.
being that guy. Sterling Shepard, I've kind of learned over the years, he's not really tall enough to go downfield.
Nah, you know what he is though, Sam. So to me,
he can make some plays after the catch, but for the most part, you're gonna get him on short ins and outs, right?
yeah. So Sim. So to me, Evan Ingram, man, like you said, to me, he's the middle. He's the guy that you can shoot it up the middle. He'll get you he'll get you between the numbers sometimes, but big plays, no, he's not gonna be that legit number 2 wide receiver that we need. He's definitely a good number 3.
Well, who's our number 1?
To me, it should be Slayton. Slayton should be our number 1 right now. Currently on the roster should be number 1. Golden Tate should be number 2, and then Sterling Shepard should be number 3.
Right.
So, but is Slayton that playmaker? Because that's what Freezy was talking about. We need that one guy who can really get you a bunch of yards after the catch, break a couple of tackles,
right.
Move you up the field without your quarterback having to always, do the work, to get you up the field.
I think he could definitely be a number 1.
Does he have?
I think the Giants.
I mean, does Slayton have the after the catch ability? Right. I mean, I love Slayton and I like what he does. He's big, he's strong, get up the field. But does he have the after the catch stuff?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? To move you up the field. We don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if he does.
I don't think so yet. Maybe he can develop. I think he may have the potential to develop that in years. But as of right now, he's not that guy. Like on like the 3rd and 8, that 3rd and 8, on teams with the guy, everybody in the stadium knows where the football is going. Right. And everybody knows. Everybody in the stands knows. Everybody in the stadium knows how much you need it. Now, when is Slayton that guy to get that ball to? I don't think so. I think the Giants may have to acquire that person after this season to ensure that they get, it's kind of like how DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson were on those 3rd and 11s. Everybody in the stadium knows where the ball's going, and they can win about 50% of the time. You know, that's half and half. So you win some, you lose some. The Giants don't have it, and I don't think the Bears have it either. So
yeah, I don't know, man. This is what the season is. Moving on to, well, not moving on, but we'll jump in. This is a Giants show. We haven't found who's going to do our Jets show yet, but sooner or later we will. All right, but the Jets, they lost 31-13 to the San Francisco 49ers. They basically got smacked around.
They look awful, man. Oh my gosh, man. So
Sam, we gotta thank the Jets though. We gotta thank them.
Thank them for what?
Man, they got a lot. The 49ers got a lot of injuries, and guess who we play next week?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, 21 for 32, 179 yards, 1 touchdown. No interceptions though today. All right, so at least that. What we had? What did Daniel Jones? 2 interceptions today.
2, I think 1 interception and 1 fumble.
Okay, it was 1 interception and 1 fumble. Okay, thought it was 2 for some reason. Yeah, maybe it was 1 interception, 1 fumble.
Trubisky had 2 interceptions. Our quarterback had 2.
The Jets also now going with their backup running back. So Frank Gore, 21 carries, 63 yards. I mean, I don't know. The Jets. I mean, both teams are in for a rough season, man. Chris Hogan led the Jets with 6 receptions, 75 yards. Braxton Berrios, he had 6 receptions, 59 yards. Both of these teams, we're going to be in for a long year with New York football, man. For a long season with New York football. A long season, man. The Jets 0-2 on the season. The Giants 0-2 on the season.
I honestly, though, in terms of the Jets, I think their talent is severely, severely overrated. I think their roster, when you looked at the game at one point, at one point I saw 3 white receivers out there for the Jets on the field at the same time. Now, y'all know, and so y'all know how I am. I'm not like if you have talent, you have talent. I don't get into like all the race stuff and all that stuff, but it's rare that you see 3 white receivers on the field playing together at the same time. It's just rare. It makes me think but the Jets are just, and Sam Darnold is so overrated. Jets fans think he's the quarterback of the future, man. I'm here to tell you, I have seen no signs of him being a quality NFL starter. Like with Daniel Jones, when Daniel Jones makes a mistake, it's a fantastic mistake. Like, for instance, Daniel Jones against Pittsburgh, Daniel Jones rolls out of the pocket, is looking in the end zone at a throw that he can possibly make. As he gets ready to make the throw, he gets hit and he throws an interception, right? So everybody will say, oh, that was a bad interception. And it was. But Daniel Jones escaped the rush and was looking to make a play, right? Mm-hmm. So there are signs that this dude, had he had, say, a split second more time, he may have made a play. Sam Darnold, you see none of that stuff. It's flatlined all the time with Sam Darnold. You're like, why is he fumbling so much? How come he didn't see these wide open receivers downfield? It's just too. And the head coach, man, to be honest with you, I don't know why he's an NFL head coach. Even Greenberg, the Greenberg guy from ESPN, said without Peyton Manning, the Jets head coach has the worst offensive system in the NFL, and he backed it up with facts. Like, they ranked 31st, and 28th and stuff, like 28 in points per game and like 31st in passing yards per game without Peyton Manning. So how does this dude even have a job? I mean, it's just, the Jets are just, I mean, I think in the long term, they're in big time trouble. In the short term, I think they're, in big time trouble too. Unlike the Giants, who have Joe Judge kind of reminds me in a way of maybe like a Tom Coughlin type coach that's going to not put up with any nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be disciplined if you play for the Giants, and you're going to earn your spot. Nobody is going to be penciled in as a starter. It seems like he's going to make it be competitive at every position. So wherever you go, you have to earn that spot and keep it and be disciplined.
Right.
So that's what Giants fans have to look forward to.
The only thing that I can say for the Jets too is, it's two games into a season that should be preseason games. So, I mean, look, I'm not expecting them to be good or the Giants to be good. You know what I mean? But for everyone across the league, it's tough, especially when you got teams like the Giants and the Jets who have, a slew of new players and they're trying to figure out who fits where and does what. I don't know. It's tough. Travis Friedman said replace Daniel Jones for Colt McCoy. Jones needs to sit and learn field vision and take a step back. Hell no. I mean, Colt McCoy, okay, he's cool and everything, but Daniel Jones, let him learn. He's not doing awful. He's not playing awful. I could see if he was playing, he was just awful and he was on the verge of really being injured and just really terrible out there. I mean, I can't say he's really terrible.
Right.
He's playing okay. Could be better, but he's playing okay, and he's making young guy mistakes.
Right.
I don't know where, sitting him and having Colt McCoy come out and play does Daniel Jones any good. Let him go ahead and be the leader of that team if that's what they,
Listen, so people, I'm not going to lie, I'm not talking about people, but I hate when people do that, especially with quarterbacks, because you can look on the field, but if you're not on the field, you're not going to really learn because you're not going to be in those scenarios. It's easy to say, it's easy for somebody to, I'm learning on the side, but are you going to learn when you get hit? and learn to take that pressure to the face. They're gonna learn when there's a defense that you gotta wait, and you're gonna have to take that hit one day when that defensive line can, so your guy can get open. You don't learn on the you don't learn it on the sideline. You learn it on the field.
Yeah,
Right.
and there are, you know what I'm saying, I think he's young. He's gonna learn those things. So like Simmons Singh is saying, he said DJ sees the field fine. If he didn't, he wouldn't have thrown the ball to all the receivers today. Exactly, he does see the field fine. This is little things that he's got to look for, right? Simmons Singh also said, problem is DJ's always looking for the ball. He doesn't know when to get rid of it or throw it. His biggest strength is also his biggest weakness. Exactly, I agree. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's him being young, understanding the speed of the game in the NFL and all of that. You know what I mean? It's him being young. I think he's going to be fine. No reason for Colt McCoy to come in at this point, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
And who was Colt McCoy? Who in the world is Colt McCoy? Now, I mean, I know who Colt McCoy is as a player. What I mean is, Colt McCoy hadn't accomplished anything in this league where you sit your first round pick in order to have him play. Yeah. Colt McCoy was garbage in Washington, and he can't stay. And he is. If you think Daniel Jones will fumble, come on, man, you're gonna put in Colt McCoy, right. And then plus Colt McCoy is frail to be an NFL player. You know, he can't start because he can't hold up to the pounding.
Yeah. So
it's one of those things. Now Daniel Jones is fine. I think it's a classic overreaction from fans that saw their team lose a close game. You know what I'm saying? I think what they need to realize is the game situation dictates a lot of this stuff. Daniel Jones knowing that you need 8 yards, your receiver has to go 8 yards for his third down and 6 because he has to come back to the football. So he's holding it, waiting for his receiver to make that break to come back. Stuff like that is what you got to look at. You know what I'm saying? It's not this thing of him holding the ball to somebody wide ass open where there's no defender. That's not what he's doing. It's game situations. I think we overreact to that stuff. Daniel Jones is going to be fine. He'll probably be a Pro Bowler once the Giants add a couple. Him, Saquon Barkley, and Evan Ingram will probably be really good at their positions once the Giants add a couple offensive linemen that are average NFL players.
Let's hope. Let's hope with Saquon Barkley. Joshua Smalls from the chat said the Giants need more weapons on offense. Yep, we've covered that. We definitely do, especially now with Barkley going down. So yeah, you know what? Listen, man, the Giants in for a long season. The Jets, and Simmons saying, I know the Jets got the same coach, but they've added some new pieces in there. Both teams are in for a long season. Both teams are in for a long season, ladies and gentlemen. And looking up who the Giants got coming up next without Saquon Barkley, man, who knows what's up with Sterling Shepard. We got San Francisco, then we got the Rams, then we got the Cowboys.
Ooh.
I don't know what to say. It is what it,
Definitely.
What can we say, man? It is what it is. It is what it is right now. Looking at scores for today, right now, the Washington Redskins are down 20-0 to the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams, these are late game scores right now. The Rams over the Chiefs 7-6. Baltimore is leading Houston 13-7. Late game, those are some late game scores. Games happening right now. You also got other early game scores. Let's check out some of the early game scores if I can find them. I don't know if I can find the early game scores. Let me see where we're at. Okay, you got the Browns defeated the Bengals 35-30. The Browns are 1-1 on the season. Cowboys are 1-1 on the season. They beat the Falcons 40-39. 40-39. The Packers are 2-0. They beat the Lions 42-21. The Colts beat the Vikings 28-11. The Colts are 1-1. The Vikings 0-2. Dolphins lost to the Bills. The Bills are 2-0 on the season. All right, the Bills are going to be looking to take over that division. The Jets not going to be a threat. So the Bills will be looking to take over that division. with Tom Brady moving on from the Patriots, but hey, Cam Newton just might work out. It might work out. Might look good for him there. We'll see what's going to happen there. But the Bills 31-28 over the Dolphins. The Rams 37-19 over the Eagles. The Eagles are 0-2. The Steelers 2-0. They beat the Denver Broncos today 26-21. I know my man Kev is happy about that. The Buccaneers 31 defeated the Panthers 31-27. Tom Brady, the second player in NFL history with 75,000 passing yards, and the Titans 2-0 defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 33-30, who are now 1-1. It's the rundown for today, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Giants fans, we're holding our breath. We're all collectively holding our breath till tomorrow. And if you don't know, I'll tell you one more time. According to Adam Schefter, the Giants fear that Saquon Barkley suffered a torn ACL today. One source said the torn ACL was certainly within the realm, but there will be more tests Monday to make a full and complete determination. And you see it happening on this play right here. 2nd and 10, Barkley finds some room. Goes down after picking up 5-6 yards, and he immediately grabs his knee, starts banging on the ground, and it's got us all a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, because an ACL, a torn ACL for a running back, man, it's tough. You see him right here shoving off the defender as much as he can, but immediately grabs his knee, and you knew something was going down. So, anyway, Isaiah, I'm going to head out, man. I'll probably jump on tomorrow. I'm doing Knicks Weekly tomorrow. But sometime during the day, I'm going to try to jump on and do an update about Saquon Barkley and anything else that's happening with the Giants. But I'm heading off for now. You got any last things you want to jump in there and say, Isaiah, before we get up out of here?
Hear me clearly?
You're low, but it's cool. We're at the end of the show.
So keep open. Hopefully, man, next week we got the 49ers and they're depleted. So listen, I'm gonna be a little optimistic about it, but guys got to step up, man.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Guys gonna have to step up. Deion Lewis, it's on him now. You know what I'm saying? It's on him now. So we'll see. We're gonna see what happens there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. We'll try to keep you updated during the week, and we'll look forward to the Giants in San Francisco next week. We didn't get to do a pregame show today, but we'll definitely do a pregame show next week, as well as a postgame show. And as we listen, 3BL, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are new, the show is called Big Brother, Little Brother, and you can see on the side of the screen, you got the Knicks and the Nets, Giants and the Jets, the Yankees and the Mets, the Rangers, the Islanders. Big Brother, Little Brother. I think you get it. All right, I think you get it. So right now, we're focusing some energy on the Giants, and as soon as we get some people that want to do the Jets, we'll get the Jets up here. We get someone who wants to do the Nets. I do the Knicks, and Isaiah works with me with the Knicks, and we got some other people that do the Knicks. As soon as we get some people that want to do these other teams, we're gonna work it out. All right, we're gonna get it in there. So just be patient as 3BL grows. All right, I appreciate you guys. We're out of here. Let's hope for the best, man. We'll talk to you this week. Be peaceful.